Today, I will be informing you all on climate change and how its effects threatens the only place that we call home. Earth is our home, but there is an invisible threat that we do not see, but it is very real. It has managed to cause problems that is severe for future generations. That threat is CO2 that is being kept into Earth's atmosphere, which is causing global warming everywhere. So, what is climate change? Climate change is a long term alteration of temperatures, typical weather patterns in a place. Climate change could refer to a particular location or the planet as a whole. Climate change causes weather patterns to be less predictable. These unexpected weather patterns can make it difficult to maintain and grow crops in regions that rely on farming because expected temperatures and rainfall levels can no longer be relied on. Impacts from climate change are happening now. These impacts extend well beyond an increased temperatures and affecting ecosystems and communities in the United States and around the world. Things that we depend on and value, like water, energy, wildlife, human health, are all experiencing the effect of climate change. Water, for instance, changes to our water resources can have a big impact on our lives. In some regions, particularly in the western United States, drought is an important factor affecting communities, where snow accumulation in the mountains is important in the west and Alaska for later use to store water. Another impact is our food. Our food supply depends on climate change and weather conditions. Changes like increased temperatures, water stress diseases, and weather extreme create challenges for our farmers and ranchers that put food on our tables. Our health. Human health is vulnerable to climate change. The changing environment is expected to cause more heat, stress, and increase in waterborne diseases and poor air quality and diseases transmitted from insects and rodents. Although these things are happening, our oceans are heating up, which means sea levels are rising. In polar regions, the warming global temperatures associated with climate change has meant that ice sheets and glaciers are melting at an accelerated rate from season to season. Higher sea levels mean that deadly and destructive storms like hurricanes are pushed farther inland than they once did before, which causes more frequent floodings. Floodings has estimated to be from 300% to 900% more frequent in U.S. coastal communities than it once did 50 years ago. The two major causes of global sea level rises are thermal expansion caused by warming of the ocean and increased melting of land based ice. The oceans are absorbing more than 90% of increased atmospheric heat associated and emissions from human activity. Jane Doe, who is known for the study of chimpanzees and animal welfare, once said, "How are the most intellectual creatures that ever walk Earth are destroying their only home?" Human activity has primarily made a big impact on physical environment in many ways. Overpopulation, pollution, burning of fossil fuels, and deforestation. Changes to soil erosion, poor air quality, and undrinkable water. These negative impacts can affect human behavior and can promote mass migration and battles over clean, fresh water. The effects of overpopulations are quite severe. Human requires space and lots of it, whether if it's from farmland or industries, which are also takes up lots of space. An increase in population results in more clear cutting, resulting in severely damaged ecosystems. Without enough trees to filter the air, CO2 levels increases, which carries the potential to damage every single living organism on Earth, which leads to pollution. Pollution is everywhere, from trash being thrown out to freeways to the millions of metric tons being pumped into Earth's atmosphere every year. Pollution is so bad that to date, 2.4 billion people do not have access to clean water. Humanity is continuously polluting indispensable resources like air, water, and soil, which requires millions of years to be replenished. Hopefully, now you know what climate change is and its impacts on our Earth and that we call home. Survival used to mean repopulating. Now that has come to a turning point as we have reached the maximum carrying capacity that our planet can sustain. Our Earth doesn't need us to thrive, but we need it to survive. Earth is our home, so we all should take part in making it a better place for future generations to come. Thank you.